For example number 5, we need to identify the radius and the center of the given circle defined by the equation 4x squared plus 4y squared minus 24x plus 64y minus 372. Based on this given equation, we need to transform first the general equation into a standard one. But remember, this is an equation where the coefficient of x squared and y squared are not equal to 1. So before we identify the solution, let us first simplify or make sure that the value of our x squared and coefficient of x squared and y squared are only 1. I will write into the next slide. We have 4x squared plus 4y squared plus, minus 24x plus 64y minus 372 is equal to 0. Okay, so simplify muna natin. It will become, your step A would be 4x squared plus 4y squared minus 24x plus 64y minus 372 is equal to 0 by dividing each term by the coefficient of x squared and y squared. Your new equation will become x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 16y minus 93 is equal to 0. Okay? So, for that, the next step is very tedious for you to transform it into standard equation, right? You need to do the completing the squares, divide the constant of x and y. I will show you another method which will shorten the process of solving for the coordinates of the center and radius by simply applying or getting the value of d, which is negative 6, e, which is 16, and f, which is equal to negative 93. It's almost the same process as such completing the squares, but to get for the value of h, you need to use the formula of d over negative 2, for k is equal to e over negative 2, and for r, your radius, is equal to the square root of h squared plus k squared minus f. So applying the given formula, this 3, let us solve for the h, or the value of the h coordinate. You will have negative 6 divided by negative 2, and that will result into positive 3. And then k would be 16 over negative 2, which will result into negative 8. And your r, which is equal to square root of 3 squared plus negative 8 squared minus negative 93. Remember, this is negative 93. Then, for your r, okay, simplify the given equation inside the radical sign. You have 9 plus 64 plus 93. 9 plus 64 plus 93 is equal to 166. And that is your radius. We cannot find the factor of 166 that is a perfect square, and 166 is not a perfect square. You can write your answer into decimal format, which is 12.8841 units. Okay, I will write it legibly. 8841 units. So therefore, your final answers are 3, negative 8 for the coordinates of your center, and the radius is square root of 166 units. That's for number 5. For number 6, let us now find the general equation of the circle whose center is at point 2, comma negative 5 and is tangent to the y-axis. Okay, so first is you distinguish what are the properties given. The first one is the center is already given. It is 2, comma negative 5. But most students often forget the term tangent. When we say tangent, it is a line that passes through the center at exactly 1 point. Okay? So isang beses lang siya tumatama dun sa ating center. And that tangent line is the x-axis. To visualize or before we solve, let us visualize in a Cartesian plane, how do we graph this particular given. As you can see on the slide, we can see that the center is at 2, negative 5 already. Okay? It is already here. Okay? And then, we can see that it is tangent to the x-axis. Okay? The horizontal line in a Cartesian plane. In order for us to solve or to find for the general equation, we need to address first what is the radius of the given circle. So for the center, it is 2, comma negative 5. But for the radius, we can easily count the distance between the center to the point of tangent C. So from the center, we can count the units 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Therefore, the radius given by the circle is equal to 5 units. We can now write the given properties into the standard format. So again, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And x minus h is 2, x minus 2, y minus k. K is negative 5, so it will become negative minus negative 5 squared is equal to 5 squared. Expand simplify first the given before you expand. So you have x minus 2 squared plus y plus 5 squared is equal to 25. Since we already have the standard equation, we can now transform it into general one by expanding the binomial terms. X minus 2 quantity squared plus y plus 5 quantity squared is equal to 25. So that would be x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 10y plus 25 is equal to 25. Move your constant term to the left side and arrange all the terms together in such a way that you are putting or writing the highest exponent first, going downwards and starting with variable x. X squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y. Since we have plus 4 plus 25 minus 25 is equal to 0. I already transposed 25, so it becomes negative. 25, 1 is positive and 1 is negative, so it becomes 0. So therefore, your final answer would be x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y plus 4 is equal to 0. And therefore, this is your general equation. Last example, let us have this time a worded problem. For our worded problem, we have Roel's house has a portable Wi-Fi router that can reach a field of 50 feet from its location. Suppose their neighborhood represents the Cartesian plane. His location is in the origin and his house is situated 30 feet north and 10 feet east from where he is. Let us identify the different problems associated on this particular worded problem. First is, let us find the equation of the circle in general form, which describes the boundary of the Wi-Fi signal. And also, we will determine whether he can still connect to their Wi-Fi at home away from his position. Okay? So let's answer letter A first. Find the equation of in general form which describes the boundary of the Wi-Fi signal. Based on the problem that we have, the given are the coordinates of their house, which is 10, 30. This will serve as our center. Since we are trying to identify the position of the user of the Wi-Fi, if it can still connect, okay? If he can still connect to the Wi-Fi signal from their house, even though he is on a remote area. So the coordinate is 10, 30 of their house. And approximately the range of the Wi-Fi signal of their router is about 50 feet. Okay, so the radius will become R is equal to 50. We can identify the given equation of the router by put it inside the equation of the standard format. So again, your R or your H is 10. So it will become x minus 10 squared plus y minus 30 squared is equal to 50 squared. Okay, simplifying the given, standard equation will become x minus 10 squared plus y minus 30 squared is equal to 2,500. Okay, but again, we are looking for the general equation, so let us expand the binomials. So it will result into x squared minus 20x plus 100 plus y squared minus 60y plus 900 is equal to 2,500. Okay? Continuing on our solution, we can now move or transpose 2,500 to the left side and arrange the terms. So it will result into x squared plus y squared minus 20x minus 60y plus 100 plus 900 minus 2,500 is equal to 0. Simplifying further our given, our answer, final answer would be x squared plus y squared minus 20x minus 60y minus 1,500 is equal to 0. And this is already the general equation of the boundary of the Wi-Fi signal from Rowell's house. Now, for letter B, we need to use the given information in letter A, such as the value of the radius, which is 50 units. Okay, always remember that the coordinates of the center is as 10, 30 and the radius is 50 units. We will identify on the next slide if Rowell can still connect to their Wi-Fi signal at home. So, just like from the previous slide, let us write first the coordinates of the center, which is 10, 30, and the radius of their Wi-Fi signal, which is 50 units. So from the previous question, worded problem, it is also given that Rowell is at the coordinate of 0, 0. Okay? 0, 0 naman yung coordinate ni Rowell. So, let's say he is on his friend's house. If we put that in the context of the Cartesian plane, it is on the coordinates of 0, 0. So, how do we solve for this particular problem? Okay, I will give you time to solve. You can pause the video to solve on your own or think of a way to solve if Roel still can connect to the Wi-Fi signal from their home. So before we start, you can pause it. We will solve it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let us solve for now if he still can connect to their Wi-Fi signal. In this problem, we can see we have two coordinates, right? First one is the center of the circle, previous circle, which is 10, 30, and 0, 0, and R, which is 50 units. So in this particular problem, we can use the distance formula to locate or to solve how far is Roel from their house, and if it is in the range of their Wi-Fi signal. Okay? So 10 and 30, then 0, 0. We have to use the distance formula given by the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 quantity squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared. Let us use 10 and 30 as our x sub 2 and y sub 2. So it will result into 10 minus 0 squared plus 30 minus 0 squared. And then simplifying, 10 minus 0 is 10 squared, that is 100, plus 30 minus 0 squared is 900. And if you add it, it will result into 1,000. And square root of 1,000 is in decimal or in decimal format. So first, you can find the factor. So what's the factor of 1,000 that has a perfect square? Because 1,000 is not a perfect square. So you can write it as square root of 100 times 10. So 100, square root of 100 is 10, and square root of 10 units. So if it is in radical format, we cannot identify how long or how far is the location of Roel from their home or from the Wi-Fi router. So to identify how far is Roel from their house, we need to convert the radical format into decimal form. So approximately, if we write it into 4 decimal places, it is around 31.6228 units. Or, on the problem, it is in feet. Okay? So again, if you could remember, the radius of the circle or the Wi-Fi signal is 50 feet or 50 units. And from their house, the distance of Roel is around 31.62 feet away. So it is less than the radius of the circle. So therefore, for letter B, Roel can still connect to their Wi-Fi at home. So even though he is not at home, he still can connect. Okay? So do we understand the lesson for the different properties, different equation of the circle? Because this will be the end of our lesson discussion. So you can recall all the video lesson from part 1 to part 3 by watching it repeatedly before answering different activities. So that's all for this particular topic in conic section. See you on the next video, which is all about a or an ellipse. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.